Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm just going to be telling you about my Spotify, like all of the music and podcasts that I listen to. I just thought that it would be an interesting video because I use my Spotify a lot, and so I just thought that I would show it to you guys. The first playlist that I have is I just called it My Playlist, and it has like almost, I think like every song that I have on my Spotify is also in this playlist. And so there's a lot of stuff in here because I have like classic rock and I have some like Avril Lavigne and some 2000s music and just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's just like my regular playlist. And then I also have a playlist that is more for the summer, and so I called it Summer Breeze. And these are just songs that kind of remind me of summer. I listen to really all of my music throughout all of the year, but this is just the playlist that like is specifically summer vibes to me. Yeah, so these are the songs that I like the most for like summertime, a lot of Grateful Dead and stuff. And I talked about this playlist in my summer playlist video, so go watch that. I think it's over here. Go watch that video. Yeah, my next playlist, I called it Keep On Truckin' because it's like road trip vibes to me. Like it's about an hour or an hour and a half of like the most road trip songs or music that I think is good for road trips. And then I have this playlist saved. It's called Daily Drive and it's like made by Spotify. But I haven't really listened to this yet. I just saved it because I want to try listening to it, but I haven't done that yet. So then I have I called it 70s teen because it just makes me think of like songs. They're like from the 70s and some might be from the 80s, but like I don't know, songs you would see like on like 70s teen movies or TV shows. So that's what all of these songs remind me of. Oh, and then this is a podcast. It's Nothing Much Happens, and this is like my favorite podcast. It's bedtime stories, but they're designed more for adults, and they're just like they're not like stories that like you'd read to a little kid. They're just like calm stories like about walking around in the park or sitting down at a cafe for a cup of coffee. And I really like listening to these because I just feel like they're really nice to like listen to and relax before you're going to bed. So I really love this podcast. And then another podcast I love is Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. I love Emma Chamberlain, and her podcast is just so interesting because she talks about so many different things. Like she talks about some like deeper stuff, like deeper things, but then she also talks about things that don't matter, like products she likes or like fashion trends, and it's a really interesting podcast. I also have the Greatest Hits by Billy Joel album saved to my library because it's my favorite album to listen to when I'm ever doing chores or something around the house. It's just like, it's such a good album. So yeah, I have that saved. I also have this podcast called First This, and it's by the same person who does the Nothing Much Happens, except for these are morning meditations. I haven't listened to a whole lot, but I'm trying to get into those. These are just the repeat, rewind, and on repeat. They're just like they're playlists by Spotify that are of songs that I tend to liked. I have not listened to this podcast yet. It's called Moon Matters Podcast, and so it's about stuff about the moon and astrology. And I like to know about that stuff, so I saved it so that I can check it out at some point. Haven't done that yet though. I have a Taylor Swift playlist because I love Taylor Swift. It's like I like classic rock like a lot. Like that's like I love classic rock, but then like I also love Taylor Swift, and they're like so different. But yeah, those are like the two different types of music that I love: classic rock and then Taylor Swift. And so this is just like I love like every Taylor Swift song, but this playlist is just like my favorite songs by her. So yeah. And then next, I have a 2000s pop playlist. Some of it's 90s, some of it is like early 2010s. It's just like that, 15 year era, but it's like mostly 2000s. So yeah, I don't listen to this music like a whole lot, but sometimes I just am in the mood for like 2000s pop because it's like really upbeat and fun. So yeah. Then my fall playlist I called Pumpkin Spice, and so it's got more like music that's just to me is like fall vibes. So like I have some Fleetwood Mac, CCR, lots of other bands too. Just like more, there's like some Doors and all sorts of stuff that's more witchy in a way to me. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So the next thing is a podcast I really like, The Morning Ritual, and it's like morning meditations, and they're just my favorites, I think, because I don't really know why. I just like them a lot. There's some that are like 10 minutes, some are like 30 minutes. I haven't really done those ones, but at some point I'll probably check them out. But yeah, I really like to do these meditations. I really like the What's the Rush one. I think that's my favorite. But yeah, my next playlist, I called it Peaceful Princess because that's just kind of like what I came up with. I might rename that if I can think of anything better though. But it's kind of got some random stuff. Like I have some classical music, and then I have some Lana Del Rey, and then Billy Joel, and then Dave Matthews, Alanis Morissette, and Fleetwood Mac. And it's kind of random, but they're more like something about them to me gives them a similar vibe. Like it's a little bit more like spring to me. I feel like it doesn't really make sense, but to me, they're kind of like spring songs. So yeah, that's what that playlist is. Next, I have Chill Fleetwood Mac because I like Fleetwood Mac because it's just kind of like chill, but it's also like it's just like good music, obviously. But yeah, so this is just all my favorite Fleetwood Mac songs. Then I have Random Classics. This is like most of the classic rock that I like to listen to. So it's got Eagles, Led Zeppelin, lots of random other good classic rock music, lots of good stuff. So yeah. Then I have Beatles, just my favorite Beatles songs. Yeah. Let's see. My top songs of 2021, that's just one that Spotify made. I have my favorite Christmas music. Yeah. So obviously that's like around Christmas time I listen to that, but that's this. On Record is just one that Spotify made. Top Song of 2022 is also one that Spotify made. Then I called it Tom and Stevie, and it's just Tom Petty and Stevie Nicks because it's got some of their songs and then some of their songs together. Yeah, so that's that. I think their music goes really well together. My next playlist is Avril Lavigne. Yeah, I really like Avril Lavigne. So these are all my favorite songs of hers. I mostly like her first two albums, but I also like some other songs. So yeah, that's just my favorite Avril Lavigne. And then the last thing in my library is just Taylor Swift. She's the only artist that I follow because, well, I don't really know why. Like, I like a lot of artists, but I don't like to have, like, all of the ones I follow in there. So I only follow her because she's, like, the main artist that I listen to that, like, currently releases music, so I follow her. But yeah, that is my Spotify. That's everything. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video. And maybe you can relate in your taste in music. Maybe not. Maybe it gave you ideas. Oh, do you like my pop socket, by the way? I got this off of Etsy. But yeah, so that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.